Welcome to a very special edition of Digi Gets Mail, a very special segment rather, where we just built this set. Yay, set! It's got these seams though, and we're gonna try to cover them up. Victor will do nicely. Someone, I have no idea who sent this.
I don't know where my shirt went.
They sent a poster from China. It looks like a Rolling Girls poster, so we're gonna open it up.
Wow!
You wanna open this with your knife here, buddy? The way you're doing that is freaking me out. You're not. This is not proper knife handling.
Yeah, you gotta go away from me.
Yeah, but not towards me.
This is like a bitch.
What is the cat doing? She's trying to
Scratching
scratch
the walls.
She's already scratching our set. We definitely need furniture to dampen the echo.
Yes, the echo is pretty
The echo is pretty bad.
Ooh,
We put a bunch of acoustic panels on the ceiling, but
this is my knife.
this appears to be a wall scroll. I was expecting a poster given the shape of the tube.
You are right.
Victor, get some stuff to put up a wall scroll with. Wall scroll. You're putting up a wall scroll.
Put up a wall scroll.
So you gotta drill in a bunch of screws there. I don't know if you want to screw holes in the
I
wall.
want to immediately start fucking screwing up the walls. I don't know.
Got any thumbtacks anywhere? Here we go.
So
A Rolling Girls wall scroll.
Oh, it's tiny. I thought it was gonna be fucking huge.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be huge too, because the tube was enormous. But it's just a little wall scroll. Put it like right here. Bam. Part of
At least
the.
put it over the screws.
Well, I'm gonna put in more posters. I'm putting it here because that would be level with this. And I mean, you gotta cover the whole wall.
Whatever.
Do you not know how poster etiquette works, dude?
I'm just saying, cover that spot first.
Okay, thanks to whoever sent the Rolling Girls poster. It's super awesome. We're gonna put it in a different room because we didn't realize it was a wall scroll, and we cannot penetrate these walls with mere thumbtacks. Okay, so as many of you probably guessed, I've been really busy for the last few days putting together the studio, getting Ben moved in, and getting ready for RadCon, which is like tomorrow. But I'm putting some time aside to go through the new mail. This first one is from a J.D. Ater in Ohio. Pretty big package. Been sitting here for quite a few days because I was waiting for more mail to show up to make the video. So I'm curious what's inside. Directly inside is cardboard insulation because the USPS struggles with words like don't bend and fragile. It's like they think it's an Italian word. Beneath that, there's a letter. Yo, Digi, my bro, how you doing? My name is JD. I go by Redneck Dashy online. I have been watching your videos since the channel came up. It has been a big inspiration through my high school years and now into the real world. I am one of those scary people that watch everything on After Dark and your main channel. If I have nothing else to watch, then I watch the Digibro stuff, and the podcast helps me to stay on task at work. Enclosed is some 3x3s, cause why not be cliche, am I right? I have included a mix CD of a song from each artist on the music 3x3. Interesting. I will probably come off as quite narcissistic as I enjoy talking about myself, just forewarning. I started my anime journey from the time I could form memories with Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, though I didn't know they were anime. Then one fateful day, my great-grandparents, whom had cables, which we couldn't get in my house until I was 12, I ended up watching an episode of Naruto on Cartoon Network. It was Haku vs. Naruto when the Tailed Beast first came out. I fell in love and began collecting manga at 9. From there I expanded my addiction and consumed more and more anime. In summer of 2013 I became a brony after stumbling upon web animations. Later I found your channel. When you mentioned anime here and there, a smile would break across my face. When you switched to anime, I was jubilant. I began watching more and more. Eventually, about a year after you stopped watching MLP, I lost interest in the show. 4 seasons was enough for me. I had Dragon Ball Z fight with ponies. I then fell into a very dense anime year, watching a series a day for a few months. Jesus. I mean, I say Jesus as if that's not something that I basically do, but it is still impressive. Now I am here watching anime here and there, often a show a week or every 2 weeks, but I find myself increasingly encouraged to write about my opinions and to make videos about them. I have a YouTube channel full of mainly gameplay with a few edited videos. I would like to start doing some more analytical videos, and lately your videos seem to be speaking volumes about pursuing a passion. This has resonated in many ways with me, and I think I can finally get up off my ass and make something worthwhile. It will still probably be shit tier, but I can at least try. From the age 5, I wanted to be an actor. In middle school, all I wanted to do was be a YouTube star after I saw all these people enjoying themselves and thus causing others to enjoy them. In high school, I discovered that in fact I can act, as I was used as an example in plays and anything regarding characters. I have videos which I made for theater arts which are now being used as examples for future classes because of my good job editing. I enjoy all this, but because my channel is small, I never feel a drive. But I think that is the biggest test of work ethic, working even when no one will see it, because in that way I can improve upon my skill and make better videos when people actually do start watching them. Yes, everyone take note from that guy, he figured it out. I have struggled my entire life with motivation. Oftentimes I was the person that winged it and scored quite high. I was the kid that hated homework, didn't do it, and got by with 100% on tests. I was the kid that would have a project where I had to speak in front of the class, and I didn't write anything, and I just got up there and spoke. I actually did a competition called Extemporaneous Speech, where you are given a topic, 10 minutes to write a speech, and then have to perform at least a 2-minute speech. I filled an index card in 10 minutes, threw the card away, then performed a 3-minute speech, and was a few points away from competing in state. I have skills for all of this, and I enjoy it. I just procrastinate to no end. This guy actually sounds a lot like how I felt in high school. I am one of those that will push everything back. If I say I will be there in a minute, and I will take an hour, well, that's the opposite of me. I will set my alarm an hour early and hit snooze all the way until I have to rush to get ready out the door. There's an inherent impulse to have everything on my time that ends up destroying most opportunities. I am writing this as a sort of starter. Once I have put it down in writing, I often feel much more of an obligation to do something. With me sending this to you and it having the possibility of being included in a mail opening video that is 1,000 people that I have just told I will do something. So if you check my small channel and there is not a Lucky Star review, please dislike my other videos. I like this policy. Alright, when I get to this guy's YouTube address, you know what to do. I know it is shitty to in some ways self-advertise myself through Digi, but that is not my intent at all. My intent is to motivate myself to be a better person and do what I am passionate about. Do something I have been putting off for months, no years. I write to you, Digi, because you have been somewhat of a role model in my life. I am 18 and am still adjusting to all this responsibility, and it is the first time in my life that I haven't had anyone holding my hand. Nobody is reminding me of a project, no one is pushing me to be better, it's all on me. I know all of this may be petty, but I truly have enjoyed every video from you, Digi, except the Lane videos because it was hard to follow with the experimental footage, though I do like Lane. And I want to show the passion that I feel towards my personal experiences. I know this is long as hell, but I could go on for ages. That is in part because I don't usually go back through anything I write, except to correct typos. The reason this is not written is because my handwriting tends to be absolute shit. Here's a picture of me and some pictures of my collection. Alright, well here's the pictures of the collection. I can barely see it at all. This first picture is extremely dark. I can kind of make out like a bunch of Dance in the Vampire Bund. Oh, okay, it is all Dance in the Vampire Bund. And then the next one is a bunch of manga, a lot of Trigun and Naruto, and No Game No Life light novels. It says Spice and Wolf and Excel World are on the left. And there's another shelf which actually has a couple volumes of Robot barely visible over here. And then Azumanga Daioh, the Omnibus, some other stuff, Berserk, and a picture of him, I guess. You can have a bearded face to attach to the writing. Is that weird? Maybe, maybe not. Now for my notoriously shitty closing bit. Thank you for reading all of this. Well, if you did, that is, and didn't pull a TLDR on me. In any case, thank you for taking your time to look at this. You are a role model. I am trying to improve my procrastination. I have shit tier 3x3s, and I am a weeb. Keep up the videos, you be you, fight the power, don't let your dreams be dreams, and marry memes. Enjoy the rest of your day, and try some Rumple Min's delicious liquor. Stay weeby, my friend, and let the Anno intensify. Oh, I will definitely let the Anno intensify. Alright, anime 3x3. Ignore the printer's shitty lines. Keys are on the back. So we've got, what's that? Joshiraku, which I haven't actually seen. Berserk, Kill La Kill, Madoka Magica, Needless? Interesting. Ghost in the Shell, Nisei Monogatari, Hunter x Hunter. That's a spoiler. I'll pretend you didn't see that. And Trigun. Pretty cool fucking 3x3 there. I need to see Joshiraku myself. Needless, I haven't seen, but I absolutely love the opening and ending theme videos. a characters 3x3, which has Kuroneko, the main guy from Needless, Revi, Nonon from Kill La Kill, Mina Tepes from Dance in the Vampire Bund. As he puts it, blonde, lolly, vampire, diplomat, wordplay, bought all manga related. So, similar taste to myself in that regard. Neferpitu, the dude from Sume from Wolf's Rain, Sora from No Game No Life, and Oshino Shinobu from Monogatari. Also because blonde, lolly, vampire, wordplay, all my cummies, as it says. So, yeah, I think we have pretty similar taste in anime waifus here. A lot of ones that I like myself. A manga 3x3, which is fairly disorganized. It's got Dance in the Vampire Bund, Azumanga Daioh, Gunsmith Cats, which I'm a big fan of, Needless, Danaganani, Trigun, Berserk, Deadman Wonderland, and Robot. It never even occurred to me to try reading the manga for Danaganani. I don't think I even knew that it was translated into English. The music 3x3. I actually know most of these bands from my childhood. So we've got Slipknot, their Volume 3. I don't know this band. Foreground Eclipse, it says. And it says album name is TLDR. Blind Guardians, At the Edge of Time, System of a Down's Mesmerize, Avenged Sevenfold self-titled, Dragon Force's Ultra Beatdown, the Ruby soundtrack, it looks like, something called XI Perosia, and Porter Robinson's Worlds. Well, I'm very familiar with Slipknot, System of a Down, Dragon Force, and Avenged Sevenfold, and Blind Guardian. All are bands that I listened to when I was much younger. Not so much anymore. Out of those albums, you didn't, like, none of these are my favorite albums from those bands, but Mesmerize is the only one I could probably still listen to. And then we've got a Games 3x3, which has The Darkness 2, Fallout New Vegas, Zoid's Legacy, Borderlands 2, Dark Souls, Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies, Warframe, Disgaea, and Little Witch Romanesque. Interesting that Little Witch Romanesque is in there. I'm guessing mostly for the art style. This guy has a very similar taste in lollies to myself, I think. Anyways, Dark Souls is the only one I've played out of these, but obviously it's one of my favorite fucking games. Oh my god, there's another letter. Yo, Digi, 2 letters in one package. Do you love reading, my man? Well, let's just say that procrastination plus needing money plus being sick equals nearly a month of sitting on my ass. I went to print my letter in my 3x3s when I suddenly discovered my fucking printer was completely out of ink. I don't have a car, so I had to wait until I could get driven to the store to buy more cartridges. That took a week, then my cousin's wedding was coming in 3 days, so I said, fuck it, I will do it when I get back. As I woke up after returning from the wedding, I began losing my voice from something mucus related. Fuck if I know. It has been a week and I'm getting better, so that is 3 weeks that I didn't work on it. I started when I saw you get the Ava drum. Watching the 7th male unboxing right now, you suck at identifying Pokemon. And Part 8 just come out, raping my ears with the MGS alert sound that is my phone notification tone. Now the math makes sense in regards to time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my asymmetrical 3x3s. They were made with PowerPoint because even though I am certified in coding in Microsoft Office, I couldn't figure out how to even have columns. Or how to have even columns. I hope my mixtape was straight fucking fire, and I hope my small collection pleases the Digi God. Here is a picture of bootleg Ava figures I got during the month it has taken me to ship this out. I was going to say Rei is best girl, but I've just been weirded out when I thought about why Shinji and Rei were never a thing. Still got shivers writing that. If you're confused, I'm talking about how she is a clone of Yui and how Freud would blow his load all over Ava if Shinji fucked Rei / his mom. I'm just gonna go back to reading doujins about taboo fetishes now. Hopefully not about cloned mothers. I think I need to turn the figure around, those dead eyes. I saw what a Rei figure could do. I watched fucking me. If this letter gets to you, then I should be fine. Well, if it didn't get to you, then you wouldn't know who I was. Shit, gotta hate that. Well, I guess I will end this here. Hope you have a good day, my friend. If I don't ship this soon, there will be a 3rd letter, and I will probably be headbutting a nail. See you on the flip side, nerd. P.S. I see that K-On picture with you in the number 8 video thumbnail, you lucky-ass cockmonger. Here's his, pretty sweet Ava figures. He even got Makinami Mary Illustrious, who, Jesse insists is not real. And here's the mix CD. It's got a list of tracks on the back, songs from all the bands that were on his musical 3x3. So I'll give it a listen. Hopefully I'll survive. Incidentally, if after 3 whole weeks that he spent before he sent that letter, the second half of the letter, If he still doesn't have that Lucky Star video up, he never actually mentioned what his YouTube channel name was, did he? Well, you'll have to track it down and hit that dislike on his other videos. Alright, so this next one, it's a letter with like a cutesy sticker on it. It's very adorable. It comes from someone, a Cecilia. I don't want to show their address, but the letter was empty in the mailbox. It was open like this and empty. Though this thing is floating around my car. I don't know if this was what was sent. It's like a cute little, it looks like a tag of an Art Picasso, but without an Art Picasso attached. And all of it's in Japanese, so I don't know if it's like a code for something. I have no idea, but this letter showed up totally empty in the mailbox. And this was floating around. So, hopefully whatever you meant to send didn't get lost in the mail somewhere. That would be a shame. This next one doesn't have a name on it, but it does have a drawing of me on it. It contains a very short handwritten letter. Yo, Digi, I wrote a letter on Google Docs for you, but since I don't have a working printer, you'll just have to type it in and print it yourself. The link is, and he wrote out the whole link. Holy shit. I hope this doesn't inconvenience you too much. Well, I'll have to go look that up later, but thanks for the send, I guess. Couldn't you have just, like, sent me the Google Doc link on Twitter? I have no idea. This is Digi from the future. I went ahead and typed in that whole Google Doc address, and there's like an 8-page letter here, so I'm gonna read it. Yo, Digi, I need your help. I suppose I should start from the beginning. I apologize for the unconventional way I've sent this letter. My handwriting is shit and I don't have a printer that works anywhere around here, so this will have to do. If you want, you could probably print this out for the sake of convenience. I also apologize for how long this letter is probably going to be. I won't give you my real name, this is the internet after all, so I'll give you my nickname. I am Kenny, Ken Patchy / Potato / Wolverine / Bigfoot Quinnicus Cornhusk. I may have more nicknames than that, but I'll keep it short and concise for the sake of reading aloud. I am a junior in high school, a member of the Going Home Club, and my household's resident otaku. I hesitate to call myself as an otaku, as I've only started watching shows of this nature since the beginning of my sophomore year. It's kinda hard to catch up on my backlog because of my very intrusive family. I can't go 5 minutes into an episode without someone looking over my shoulder and insulting me at the sight of any eye size exaggeration. I suppose my interests aren't suited for my rather traditional household. To this day, I can say I've seen 80 shows. However, I like to think that my meticulous process for picking a show to watch has given me a somewhat respectable taste in shows. There are still shows I need to start and finish, such as Karekano, Gintama, Death Note, Attack on Titan, Zetsubo Sensei, and a ton, like a metric butt ton of shows, and the mini on hold will probably be completed once I either A, move out, B, get my own room, or C, all of the above. A list of my favorites, I can't just pick 9 for a 3x3, I can't find it in me to exclude any of the ones on the list, will be provided here. Stuff I can watch anytime. Toradora, Kill La Kill, Soul Eater, FMA Plus Brotherhood, Achikochi, No Game No Life, Defrag, Spice and Wolf, Shiki, Lucky Star, Beautiful Bones, and anything surrounding the Monogatari series. And Guilty Pleasures / stuff that he needs to be in a mood to watch, Koikaze, Oreimo, Sora no Otoshimono, and Mysterious Girlfriend X. I can't help but notice there's at least 2 incest stories in your Guilty Pleasures. It began with The Prophecy, an unofficial club, and a summer spent entirely inside out of a lingering sense of paranoia. About half a year ago, halfway through my sophomore year of high school, I was walking to the library with members from the MTC, the Morning Table Club, where people meet up before school at a table and just do random stuff. It's great fun, to the library for our after-school session. For some context, the members of the MTC are Sammy Joe, the goth punk chick who watches people murder for fun, Shady Shin, my personal otaku sensei and one of many drunkards in the group. This is in high school. Beryl, a tall, lanky troublemaker who resembles Dante from DMC in high school, only with brown hair, my childhood friend. Rainicus, he's gone through some shit. We utilize his long rants against his terrible parents to make jokes. Don't worry, we do this to cheer him up as well as to laugh like idiots. Chris Mini Ninja, a little guy who has surprisingly well-honed sneaking abilities. Mikey the Yeti / Plow Guy, the second drunkard on the squad. He's also a complete horn dog, as expected of someone whose nickname refers to a feral animal. His other nickname references the time he almost died via nearly getting run over by a plow truck. Tori, the Fudanshi Queen, is exactly as the name implies. Recently, due to an influx of freshmen, a few of their siblings have come to the school. Mini Ninja's sister is a straight-up lolly, and I personally haven't talked to Joes, but they seem to have similar interests. On this particular day, it was me, Mini Ninja, Shady Shin, Tori, and Beryl heading towards the library for our after-school meetup. I was walking alone that day, but everyone else had already arrived when I got there. They were huddled behind Barry, all whispering softly. "What is all this? What's going on over here?" I asked. "Oh, Kenny, this should be interesting," replied Beryl. "Can you just tell me what's going on here?" Using my powers as an Ultimate Supreme Deluxe S-Class Super Omega Otaku Special Edition to predict your anime-related future. Beryl has frighteningly good instincts. He's done the same thing at the beginning of the school year and had been right to an almost frighteningly level of accuracy. Alright then, I'll take part in this silly little game of yours. So Beryl, what's my anime-related future fortune? Beryl started rubbing his temple with his fingers. He started muttering some gibberish from underneath his breath. I know these were the Japanese lyrics to one of the fairy tale OPs, and was shaking his limbs and head a great deal. It was quite a sight. I wish I'd caught it on camera. Suddenly, he let out a loud yell and scared us shitless. "What the hell are you trying to pull? We're in a library, you Nimrod!" "It is you. You are the chosen one. Can you please clarify as to what I've been chosen for?" "You will become the Harem King!" I can probably assume that most people would be excited about receiving this kind of fortune and would await the day it came true with utmost happiness. Well, unfortunately, I am not a normal guy. I'm a chronic paranoid, constantly concerned with others' thoughts and feelings, even if they have nothing to do with me. I do not have the balls to tell someone the truth if I'll hurt them for a long while afterwards. I get serious complexes and issues and destroyed or sporadic trains of thought when my friends have a bad day. Now apply that kind of mindset to a harem you don't even want, and constantly exchanging vague feelings and trying to keep them in an area where they're happy while also assuring the others that everything is fine. Trying to balance so many people's feelings would destroy my soul from the inside. Honestly, school days ending was what probably made me this way. I have no interest in participating in an actual romance, and to top it all off, I am one of the few, I'm talking like percents of percents, people on this earth who is asexual. I'm the antithesis of a harem protagonist in both mind and body. A harem is equivalent to hell in my eyes. I want to guess what you're thinking. Man, this kid's crazy. What is the chance that this is going to come true? Like 1%. I thought the exact same thing initially. However, as I continued living my life, I noticed a gradually change in tone. Everything became exaggerated in nature. Both reactions and emotions were emphasized in a way that hadn't existed just a few days prior. I noticed little events happening each day, slowly setting up for punchline each and every day. If I was lucky, maybe a few days would pass before the punchline was delivered. It was as if life was setting up for the first episode of a generic harem show. I get easily paranoid, so these kinds of things happen frequently. Happening this frequently drove me mad. I finished the school year and promptly shut myself in my house for the summer to come. There were so many instances where something that you'd see in a show like that started presenting themselves to me. A summer festival capped off with fireworks, a trip to the beach house for a week, and a meetup with the MTC scheduled weeks within each other. I avoided all of these and hoped to God that I wouldn't be seated next to a transfer student on the first day of school for fear of it kickstarting my career as the Harem King. I'm still not free yet. There's always the chance that a student will transfer in and take the only vacant seat in class, that being next to mine. I mean, we even have lollies attending the school this year, and not to mention the things that set up for the show have started increasing in intensity and frequency. I should be more paranoid than ever right now, and on top of this, there's an issue I've been dealing with since the 1st of August. It's self-imposed though, that being dieting. Fuck, I hate dieting. I'm trying to slim down for Halloween. I'm also trying to grow my hair out. Take a random guess as to who I'm going as for Halloween. I'll give you a few hints. 1. He's the protagonist of a self-indulgent light novel adaptation. 2. He's one of the funniest protagonists to ever grace the medium. And 3. The show he's from is in the majority of the 3x3s you've received so far. It is Koyomi Araragi. I know I'm a bit tall to be going as Araragi at a staggering 6'4". I'm only 16, keep this in mind, and my hair is more of a brown than a black. But my determination to cosplay this character for Halloween is the only thing keeping me on this diet. I was 180 pounds when I started, now I'm 155 as of the time of this writing. That sounds skinny as fuck for someone who's 6'4". Hopefully I can reach my vague goal of skinny by the end of October. Wish me luck. I'd send you something, but my budget of $0 isn't very flexible. I usually wait until my birthday or Christmas to ask for stuff. Luckily, my birthday's at the end of September, September 27th, and Christmas isn't too far after that. I asked for all 17 volumes of the Spice and Wolf light novels for Christmas. I usually can't get much for my birthday, though. My sister is literally 2 weeks before, and school expenses ate through a lot of my parents' wallet. I'm considering getting a job halfway through the school year. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed yourself when reading this letter, even if it was only a little bit. This really is the most I can send at the moment. Hopefully I can see you in the comments. Please skip to the ending right now if reading on camera, so you may resume reading on air. From a devoted fan, sincerely, Kenny Cornhusk. Well, good luck as the harem king, Kenny. Great delivery of that story, and I do encourage getting a job while you're young, because learning the value of money is a big deal, at least in my book. Alright, here we've got a letter from England that is in an envelope which seems very poorly secured. Dear Digi, greetings from the east coast of the United Kingdom. As a 26-year-old ethnic minority in my country, white British but doesn't drink tea, I understand the outside public perception of our nation. As much as our government looks like kind of a joke, it could still be worse. This, however, is a topic I'm not particularly willing to dwell on for the sake of this letter. So hey, here's the heart of the letter, and I hope this receives you in good health or close enough. I would handwrite it, but I unfortunately have a type of dyslexia known as dyspraxia that practically means I can't write properly. It's never gone away and never will. It's been incredibly frustrating for me for my entire life. As a fan of yours for perhaps roughly a year now, the first video I had watched was your visual breakdown of Kill La Kill's opening scene, and your eye for detail basically was the catalyst for me to rethink everything that I had watched up to this point and why I liked the shows I did. I started really paying attention to visual flow and direction in a series and came to rewatch a number that suddenly became my absolute favorites due to it. I also learned how to embrace stupidity and enjoy a lot of bad shows that at least don't take themselves overly seriously. I then went on to start watching other videos like the one on how hard good anime is to make and the differences between Psycho-Pass's 2 seasons. I getcha, personally I consider season 2 retconned due to the film anyway. Please be the case, based Urobucher. As a beefy, bearded bloke, K-On! Should have no value to me, but due to college years, I studied music, I 100% understand the dynamic of the group and just how absolutely impossible to get everyone to focus for more than 20% of the time it actually is. I absolutely adore the characters and have been suffering from depression maybe more than 10 years. I probably still do, but recently things have been better for me. K-On! To me came at a time when I really needed something to just absorb. I guess Hyouka was the same for me. If I was going to say what my favorite series of all time was, it'd definitely be Hyouka. I'm sorry I can't send you anything interesting as airmail is expensive, and I'm not entirely sure what we even get over here in terms of anime magazines or such similar. Where I live, there's pretty much no commercial district due to most of the money flowing out of the town. I'd have to wander further upfield into the city of Norwich to even consider finding anything of note. Your approach to your work and your ethic is remarkable. I really like the stuff you do and how much you do it. I love that you don't mind just doing random, off-the-cuff, and totally sporadic projects such as music or film sketches. I wish I had the opportunities to pursue my music, but I unfortunately rolled badly on the lottery of life and got stuck with East Anglia. We have nothing but some kind of interesting wildlife, lots of churches, some really interesting long derelict ones, and some pretty connected lakes called Broads. I once had an excursion out with a few friends to this church in the middle of nowhere down a dirt track through the woods. It looks pre-11th century. There's nothing left on the road and this gigantic tree has grown through the center of it. We went at midnight, 100% pitch dark, and it was the most terrifying place I've ever seen. That sounds fucking awesome. It was utterly beautiful though. Sometime circa 2013, I took a friend with me to see Kyari Pamu Pamu live in London. We looked like two normal blokes and hilariously out of place, but that just made it better. Seriously, the most surreal thing I've ever seen in my life was this nutcase Japanese idol jump about for like 2 hours straight in various outfits and never even break a sweat. It was awesome. I need to get back into playing music though. I definitely miss doing it. Even playing in small, unfocused projects can be massively rewarding and fulfilling. Please continue to make fantastic content with the Devu. Your Ass War series was funny as sin and super insightful, even if hilariously overstated at times in the same way the Sword Art Online ones were. I get the feeling that if I knew you personally, we'd argue over everything, and it'd always be super fun to do so. A few questions I'd like to ask you are as follows. Have you ever done any tabletop story-based gaming in like Dungeons & Dragons or Everyone is John? If you've never seen this, look it up. I've never heard of that. But I have done some Dungeons and Dragons, none very seriously. We had a campaign going with some friends led by, DM'd by my friend Brendan Tolentino, who's currently DMing games with my brother Shade and some of their friends, but we played like the worst D&D possible. If you could rewrite one single part of a series you hated and make it better, which series and which part? Not accepting the answer, all of it. Well, I guess Sword Art Online, because I have a whole plan for how I'd rewrite Sword Art Online. Which part would be the majority, but the main thing I want to do is to focus it on the themes that are already there, like, because Sword Art Online has some interesting themes, it just doesn't explore them very much, where, like, it seems to be based around the idea of, like, what is it like to live inside of a virtual world and to, like, feel like that's your real world. Like, what the bad guy was trying to do in the series was he wanted people to come to accept the virtual world as their actual lives. That's why he did the death game. And the only people who were able to do that were Kirito and Asuna, and like that's why they start becoming obsessed with trying to get back into a virtual world after finishing the game. And so I want to focus more on Kirito as someone who's like when he goes on all his episodic journeys and stuff, I want it to be him like exploring the different ways that people find life inside of a game. The people, like the ways of life people have. I want to make it more emotional. So like, you know, when the big character death moments will be spread out further and like not all at the beginning. It'll be characters who actually have some meaning to Kirito. And then I really want to go into the Gun Gale Online arc and have it really be about post-traumatic stress disorder and like different explorations of that, and about Kirito trying to become someone who, you know, perfects virtual technology. All this stuff is like in SAO, it just needs to be brought to the forefront. Do you have any more rag topics coming up? I mean negative topics a la Ass War Sucks. Not in the immediate future. It takes a certain level of passion to get into those things. I think I'd love to do more stuff about Sword Art Online, especially when it becomes relevant again, when like Season 3 and the movie come out, and you know, once the books finish, because I think the last arc is almost over of the books, so it would be interesting to go in even more in depth than before, where like I feel like my SAO videos are kind of lacking in the fact that I didn't know the series back and forth. The way that with Ass War, I really learned everything about the show in order to write about it. Lastly, a history tip to share for the unenlightened. The Old English writing of ye was actually pronounced the same way as we'd say whatever it was today. Ye Old Pub would still be read aloud as the Old Pub. Guaranteed, once I seal this letter up and send it, I'll remember something of note that I should have included in this letter. Murphy's Law in practice. Oh, and sorry it got really rambly. Yours sincerely, Chig. P.S. The guy from Gold Season gets props from me. I bought that album on Bandcamp and really recommend it. It reminds me of Corellia, who are also awesome and need to make more music. So, yeah, congratulations Gold Season on another album sold. P.P.S. That figure of Yui you received is identical to the one brought back to me from some of my best friends when they went to visit Japan. Cool. P.P.P.S. I would like to formally apologize for the travesty that was the otaku test you took recently on behalf of all of the UK, and for including 3 postscripts. The otaku test was one of the best things I've ever been through in my life. Appendix. Feel free to continue reading this on camera. As stated before, I don't take much pride in my artistic efforts, but there are a few instances of my musical exploits on the magical interwebs. If the searches don't bring up what I was originally intending for, there are links posted that hopefully don't turn out too carcinogenic or to manually key in. I used to play bass for a blues/pop band that went through numerous iterations of slightly different styles and lineups. The particular examples I would like to point out would be videos on YouTube called Jimmy Rowe Trio, The Weight of the World, and Jimmy Rowe Trio, Love and Life. Just gonna put those names on the screen for a second in case. For my degree, one of the modules was a major project of which I presented the argument that knowledge far outweighs the equipment on hand, and that for producing music, given enough drive, you can make anything work. This passed despite the fact that I utterly messed up on the development evidence side. All my old takes and tracks that hadn't been mastered stopped working due to reformatting. I handed in next to nothing for something that was roughly 50% of the marking criteria. Everything was recorded on my PC through an interface that cost in total under £200. I did all of the instrumentation and programming manually with a mouse, and it was unfortunately mixed on a basic computer speakers instead of monitors, which are far superior as they don't have particularly frequency bias, unlike a lot of home computer speaker sets. Sonder Signification EP. Straight fucking gent. Degent! If you're going to visit one link, I implore you to consider this following one. During the process of learning how to mix and master on my super favolatier recording setup, I shot a message at random to a couple of people, one of which sent me vocals. This same girl later went on to get hired by Sentai to do the English dub of Sakura Chiyo from Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun, amongst other things. Wow. So, I guess the female vocalist of this song that this guy made went on to be the voice actress who plays Chiyo-chan in the English dub of Nozaki-kun. Pretty fucking cool shit. I immediately like where this is going. Yeah. And lastly, his 3x3, which consists of Hyoka, Ghost in the Shell, K-On!, Cowboy Bebop, Hibike Euphonium, Perfect Blue, Shirobako, Kill La Kill, and looks like Concrete Revolutio. Very cool 3x3. Obviously, lots of my favorites are on here too. I dropped Hyoka, but I will watch it eventually on the Second Chances board. And I haven't finished Concrete Revolutio yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be cool. Oh, this letter actually is not mine. This went to the wrong person. The person whose P.O. box was previously mine, I don't think has changed their address yet, and I've still been getting some of their mail. Alright, next we have one from a Thomas McCravey in Alabama. Hey Digi bro, I'm Tony. I've watched a fucking buttload worth of your videos. I mean fucking, I haven't watched as many of them as you have, but fuck, there's a limit. You, like most creatives, I say most creatives because I can relate, and with your opinion combined with mine, we represent literally all other creatives. But like most creatives, you think the past year or perhaps 2 years represents you, and anything past that is no longer you. So fucking like, I don't feel like watching your old stuff in that case. What would I get out of it besides a snapshot of the Digibro from that era? I didn't subscribe to that guy, I subbed to you. So fucking yeah, this is long-winded. Anyway, I felt obligated to send a letter because I've been watching these mailbags and none of the letters have been perfect yet. I'm like, man, shouldn't someone send a perfect letter to Digibro? Fuck, I mean, there's no such thing as objectivity, and that's fucking quizzacious. But the real point is to create a letter that Digibro considers the best. In which case, I'm already fucked. T. That's a capital T for the viewers at home. I'm already fucked. 6. Because the weirdness of this letter probably disqualifies it. I mean, that poster of you and the K-On! Girls was fucking zizzling. And I don't even know what zizzling means. Is that a word? I found it just now by looking up words that start with Z. Fuck, that word sounds dumb. Anyways, here's a good joke. If you take the first letter of each word that appears immediately after each sentence of the F word in this letter, you'll get a bit.ly link to a Rick Astley song. God damn it, I just ruined the joke. Ah! Keep being you. I don't feel like being super personal or touching in this because I'm a creative and I feel like I have places to be and things to do. Like, to the extent that I have Jeff on Skype and we're planning on, well, that'll be for another time. What I'm saying is that you're weirdly nearby in terms of networking. You know? I don't think it's unlikely that we'll meet sometime in the future, so I can get in depth about how egotistical I am then. I hope that's alright. I know with you and the rest of the PCP, there's probably enough ego to go around, but if you combine all the ego in the world into a small enough space, perhaps we'll just shatter causality and grant ourselves immortality, and that'd be pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome. The rest of this is handwritten, and it looks like a House of Leaves thing. Oh fuck, I'm writing in pencil now, last notice. I've taken 5 semesters of Japanese in college. You stated before that failures of subs/translations don't matter as much to you because you know this much Japanese. Rebuttal. Before I knew this much Japanese, I couldn't tell anything was wrong with the translations I got, so I was fine. Now, however, every time they fuck up, every time there's a shitty choice made in service of, in scare quotes, localization, I feel a disconnect, a distraction, subtle fucking dysphoria. I fucking hate it so much. He also wrote the entire hiragana and katakana alphabets there, for some reason. But that's just me. Subs are not one-size-fits-all, it seems. I find fan subs necessary in this case, though that's an entirely different issue. Fuck commie. I mean, I'm a communist as much as the next guy, but these motherfuckers intentionally shit over the original dialogue. They add extra jokes, memes, etc. I come to fan subs because official subs... Oh, Jesus, where does this continue? Okay. I think I just start here. Whoops, upside down now. Read this part last. Okay, well, I read your old blog post on Katana Gatsuri, and I agree with your points. However, I can tell you that you didn't quite get it, because literally all of the reasons I love the anime were neither explored or mentioned. You managed to see the anime for all of its flaws, while all of the things the anime had going for it you seem to have missed. I have big plans, on the scale of 50,000 words. Lastly, as you saw from my 3x3, I am a huge fan of Nishioi Scene, and my favorite anime is the Monogatari series. You've made yourself quite clear with how much you appreciate this anime, and your score is despite how positive you are on it, I find you underappreciative, too low, or your score is too low. Oh god, this is so fucking, it's such a damn update. Back in the printed text, I said I would leave well enough alone, but instead I binged all of your brony videos that remain on YouTube. Laughed at the expense of post-Digi every time you used such language as, I'll love this show forever. Yeah, I laugh when I hear those lines too, in those old videos. But what can you do? Alright, one last package from this video comes from Canada, British Columbia. Does not have a name on the front. Let's check it out. It's some kind of book-like thing. Okay, it looks like a CD called Digi Mix, along with a letter and a CD of some kind. Paper House, The Remains of What Was Left. Kenneth Crayley? Is this Kenneth Crayley's band? He has a band? Kenneth Crayley is one of my most frequent commenters, so maybe this letter is from him. It is, from Kenneth Crayley. Hey dude, I've been a big fan of your stuff since the Pony days. I've always been really interested in reviews and analysis, and when I had just gotten into MLP, I knew there had to be some sort of episodic reviews of the series out there. So I was super psyched to find your channel intelligently talking about the show. This was midway through Season 3, so while I didn't realize it at the time, I ended up witnessing your channel grow nearly from the beginning. Honestly, if it hadn't been for your videos, I probably would have gotten bored with the show a hell of a lot faster than I ultimately did. Though considering my current feelings towards the show, indifferent at best, it's up for debate whether that was a good thing or not. Haha. While I was already into anime prior to you changing your channel's focus to anime, your videos helped turn it from a passing interest of mine into a major hobby. I don't think I'd have gotten anywhere as close to as into it as I have gotten without following your channels. We were both born in the same year and were raised on a lot of the same sorts of media, so I can relate to your perspective quite well. Also, big thanks for promoting the other Horseshoe Crew / Procrastinator guys over the years. They're all among my favorite YouTubers now too, Endless Jess and Best Guy Ever in particular. The fact that they aren't just as big as your channel is a crime against YouTube. Those guys are brilliant. I agree. I got the impression that I might have been the only person to have listened to the pub crawl while actually drinking along with you in cider on a regular basis, like you guys encouraged. When it was live, the timing of the show just worked out perfectly with when my evening classes and or work ended. I'm on the West Coast time zone, so I was always on board to unwind after a busy day with the show. Hearing you talk unscripted so much there made your eventual transition into stuff like your vlogs or the Digibro series seem like a totally natural evolution of your videos for me. I didn't have any cool anime stuff to send you, but I'm generally known among my friends as a music guy, so I thought I'd send you a mix CD of songs I think you might like. I've always loved making mix CDs, but since online playlist streaming is so popular now, I rarely get the chance to do so anymore. Having watched a lot of your content, I've gotten some impressions of your musical taste. While my taste in music is fairly different from yours, we both have an affinity for the weirder, less conventional, and commercial side of music. So for the most part, that's what I've focused on this mix CD, though I tried to mix it up as much as possible with various eras and styles represented. The majority of the songs on this disc are by bands I'm guessing you haven't listened to much before. At the very least, I've avoided any that are on your top 100 chart. Of course, it's impossible to predict what you may or may not have heard of before, so it's probably inevitable that you'll have heard at least a few things on here already. But regardless, even if you come away with just one or two artists you like enough to check out further, then I'll consider this mix CD a success. I've also sent you a copy of my own album called The Remains of What Was Left by my band Paper House, which I just released this month. While I'm personally really proud of it, I'm not sure how in line with your taste it might be, since my music is very classic rock and pop influenced, bands like The Who and The Beatles, for example, and I haven't seen you talk about those genres much. But all the same, I figured it couldn't hurt to send it. It's also available on my YouTube channel, so if anyone else is curious about my stuff, you can click on my name whenever you see one of my comments and check it out there. I also included a 3x3, as is tradition. Oh man, this is quite the 3x3. So we've got Daikon 4, Gurren Lagann, they're all, he's got like the names on the back, but they're all on the incorrect shows. So it says, because it says Digimon, but that's Daikon 4. Then it says Gurren Lagann on what is Gintama, it looks like. Evangelion says Shirobako. Hunter x Hunter says Madoka Magica. Paranoia Agent says Space Dandy. Maru Penguin Drum says Haruhi Suzumiya. Legend of Galactic Hero says Ranma 1/2. Gochi Usa is the Order of Rabbit says Hibike Euphonium. And Kaon says Revolutionary Girl Utena. Oh, okay, these are runner-ups, that's why. It's two different lists. So there's 18 total, all of them great. I don't think you named a single show that I don't also absolutely love. You didn't. You managed to name 18... I haven't seen all of Galactic Heroes, I haven't seen all of Penguin Drum, and I haven't seen Digimon in like 10 years. But I like what I've seen of all of them, and everything else is one of my favorites. So this is probably the closest in taste anyone has ever been to me after sending a 3x3. Alright, we've got another... Oh, it's got a list of the tracks that are on the mix CD, so if anybody wants to listen along, they can do so, as well as explanations of them. So we've got Adebisi Shank. This is the third album of a band called Adebisi Shank. That's the name of the album. World in Harmony is the song. This band is usually categorized as math rock, but they put a fun spin on the genre that I really love. Their songwriting style reminds me a bit of Anamanaguchi in that they're mostly instrumental and usually very melodic and upbeat. Well, that sounds awesome. Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum, their album of natural history, song Phthisis. Phthis. Phthisis. I don't know how to describe these guys. Prog metal, I guess, is the most accurate thing, but they like to mash up a lot of different styles, which makes them tricky. Weather Report, alright, I'm not gonna read the album titles, I'll just read the song titles. Weather Report's Teen Town, a short jazz song with some sweet-ass bass licks. White Noises, Love Without Sound, 60s psychedelic music, a step weirder than most 60s psychedelic music. Van Coyle's The Anal Staircase. 80s industrial music, very disturbing and creepy, the kind of music I can only listen to when I'm in the right mood. The band Ween, song Pandyfackler, It's impossible to pick a representative Ween song since the band made it their goal to have every song they did sound almost nothing like every other song. It's one of my favorite things about them, really. But I know you're into Steely Dan, so I thought I'd pick a Ween track where they aim for a Dan-like jazz pop kind of vibe. Sounds cool. The band XTC song Scissor Man, one of my favorite bands. They would turn into a hyper-slick art pop band in their later years, which is my personal favorite era of theirs, but I chose this song because I thought you might dig their earlier, more energetic material better. The band Gentle Giant song Knots, a 70s band that focused on short songs with as much odd stuff packed in as they could fit. Bizarre, tangled vocal parts are something they did a lot of, and this song is pretty much exemplifies that. Shingetsu with the song Influential Street, Japanese prog from the 70s. This band's actual best song is called Oni from the same album, but that song is too long, so in the interest of cramming more songs on this disc, I packed a shorter track. It's still a good one, though. The band Cheer Accident with the song Smile, a noisy post-rock band. This is a pretty accessible song, but the band's stuff generally swings between angular post-punk and intense post-rock. The album that the song comes from has 2 20-plus minute post-rock excursions on it, which are really awesome. The band Asturias with the song Distance, one of my favorite Japanese artists. You definitely know this song since it was covered by Ivy and Surashu, so maybe you've heard of this band before because of that. All of this band's acoustic material is tremendous and very much in the same vein. Beautifully tuneful instrumental music. The album this song comes from is actually a pretty short EP, so I recommend the full-length album, Marching Grass on the Hill, if you want more of their stuff. Interesting. I don't remember which song is Distance from the Black Box, if it's on there, but Ivy and Surashu are the guys who do the Steven Universe soundtrack, for those who don't know. Cardiac's Fiery Gun Hand. It took me years to get my head around this band, but I eventually managed it. This song shows the band firing on all cylinders, which is their default mode most of the time. Simon Bookish with Synchrotron. This album is made entirely of keyboards, a horn section, and science-themed lyrics. A neat concept. It feels nerdy, but in an oddly sophisticated way. The band Ash with Cocoon. Short and quick pop rock track, nothing unique, but it's pretty fun. Kevin Gilbert with Shadow Self. This guy died young, which sucks because he had tons of potential. The song is from the one solo album he put out during his lifetime, which is a personal favorite of mine. The band Saltillo with Blood and Milk. I don't know much about this band, but this album is full of chill, cello-driven trip-hop. And finally, the band Yes with Sound Chaser. I'm sure you know who Yes are. Not sure if you've heard this album this song comes from, though, which is their most chaotic and musically overboard. The song is kind of all over the place, but I love it for that. Yes songs are hard to put on mix CDs because all the best ones are long as fuck, but this one fits snugly in the remaining time on the disc. Thanks for listening. Hope you were able to discover some cool stuff. Well, the only bands out of all those that I've even heard of were Gentle Giant, Cardiacs, and Yes. I obviously have listened to lots of Yes, but I have not heard that song, haven't heard any of the songs from any of those bands, so I will definitely be giving that a listen and reporting to you how I feel in the next video, I guess. There needs to start being follow-ups to mail times. Those who don't know.
Pulling on my heartstrings, she walks out through the door, daring to ignore me lying on the floor. Carolina, Carolina, can't you see? You're the kind of girl I wanted for me. Never far away.
It's fun stuff. Is it just me, or do a lot of my viewers have, like, really great production on their albums? You guys are fucking pros out there. So, thanks a ton to everybody who sent all that stuff. Lots of cool shit in there. Lots of cool little CDs that I'm going to have to listen to. And I want to let everyone know that Ben Saint and the Devu are living in my house now. They can totally share my P.O. box. So if you have any stuff you want to send to Ben Saint or the Devu, then send it to my P.O. box, and I will have them come on this show and open that shit live. So look forward to that, and see you later.